the £36 billion that we were going to spend on HS2 is better spent on different transport connections across the north of England, east to west.
Well, Rishi Sunak, as you heard there, confirming the money saved from HS2 will go towards hundreds of transport projects. But what is actually new? We've been taking a closer look. The PM then confirming that the high-speed link down from Birmingham to Euston will be completed, but he said the London station will be radically scaled back to reduce costs. The Manchester to Birmingham leg of HS2 will now be scrapped, along with the HS2 East leg. The government has instead offered investment in a series of transport projects called Network North. Instead, the Prime Minister has promised to protect the £12 billion line between Manchester and Liverpool, something that was previously announced as part of the Northern Powerhouse Rail project. As well as a host of local transport investment, Rishi Sunak has also re-announced projects like the electrification of the Trans-Pennine route for areas like York and Manchester, the building of the Midlands rail hub for cities like Birmingham, and a new tram system for Leeds, all three of which were previously brought to the table in 2021. Under the new plans, the Prime Minister expects to have trains travelling from Manchester to Bradford in 30 minutes via a new line from Huddersfield and electrify lines to Sheffield and Hull to reduce journey times to 42 minutes and 84 minutes respectively. So what has driven the Prime Minister's decisions today then? In a word, cost. In 2015, it was thought HS2 would cost £55 billion. But 5 years later, reports have suggested that number could go as high as £106 billion, almost double. Rishi Sunak says £36 billion will be saved as a result of scrapping the northern leg, with all the money going into hundreds of new transport projects in the north. As well as rail upgrades, motorways and A roads will be improved and bus fares kept at £2. Our business correspondent Paul Kelso has been speaking to those people and businesses directly affected by those decisions.
In Manchester, only the trams were running. A strike shut the railways for a day, while inside a former station, the trains of the future were cancelled by a Prime Minister promising local links in place of HS2.
I am disgusted, but I'm not. Whatever the Tories do doesn't surprise me.
Well, I think he'd better do it, yeah. Needs improvement. I was waiting about 20 minutes for the bus this morning, never come.
It's sad and perhaps entirely unsurprising that it's the Manchester part that gets cancelled.
From the leaders who want high-speed rail to transport investment and opportunity north, there was fury.
It does not deliver that new line. It involves patching up existing lines and leaving us with a problem that still has not been fixed. So it doesn't work east-west, but nor does it work north-south either.
Businesses like this were counting on a high-speed boost. They make clean air units for the pharmaceutical industry. Watching the PM, the boss turned it blue.
I do feel like second-class citizens, but I guess if I were in Leeds, if I were in Liverpool, if I'm up in Scotland, I feel equally the same. It's like nothing exists past London, and how the hell somebody can come up to the heartland and say, oh, by the way, we're now going to chop you off. That's fantastic marketing.
HS2 will now end in Birmingham with a link to the West Coast Main Line, but it will now extend to Euston. A proposed £12 billion fast link from Liverpool to Manchester survives, enabling faster east-west travel. And the line to Hull will be electrified, all part of the third rail plan for the north in as many years. In place of HS2, Rishi Sunak's promising more of this, better local transport links, and they'll doubtless be welcome, but it's less than 2 years since the government was promising it could do it all, and much of what he's promised isn't even new. So he may find that breaking the promise of high-speed rail to the north comes at a price in trust, in the time it takes to deliver these projects, and in the credibility of any infrastructure plan put forward by his government.
I just can't believe it.
This decision will cause chaos along the route, where families like the Froggates have endured compulsory purchase orders for land that may never be used.
The £36 billion that Rishi Sunak has announced is going to be spent on other levelling up projects in the north, which I think is wonderful. Can he just tell us or give us some clarity on how much money is going to be allocated in repairing the devastation and the work that HS2 have already done?
The government says the sell-off of HS2 land will begin soon, but Mr Sunak still needs the support of his northern MPs to get his plan through Parliament before an election that could yet put HS2 back on track. Paul Kelso, Sky News in Manchester.